Hi, welcome to the Lawn Fawn Lovers collaboration for May 2018. This month our theme was a feminine card. So to start off my card, I'm doing a card base of 5.5 by 4.25. My first layer is 5.25 by 4. My second layer is a white piece of cardstock and it's 3.75 by 5. And my third layer is a pink piece. It's 3.5 by 4.75, which I actually am going to cut down a little later in the video. And I'm just going to adhere down the first layer to the base. And I'm using the Lawn Fawn standalone die, the Lift the Flap die, and it's the medium-sized one that I'm cutting out of the front of the card. And I'm just erasing the size I had written on there. And I'm checking the fit, but I'm actually going to cut down that pink piece in a bit. And I'm just going to stamp out some images from the Ahoy Matey set, the Pirate Girl, the treasure chest, and the treasure map and the X. I'm going to do a few of each just in case I need them. And then I'm going to color them with Spectrum Noirs and cut them out. And I'm just going to put the dies down with some Post-it tape. I kind of wish that some of the companies would put a little arrow on the backs of the dies for people like me that can't figure out which way is up. Some of them are hard to figure out, I think. I'm just erasing what I had written on the white piece of cardstock already. So I'm going to try and put this stamp on the pink piece, but it's not going to fit. It's just slightly too big, and I don't want to rerun of what I did last month. So I'm going to cut off about 3/8 of an inch off of the pink piece, and then I'm going to stamp directly on the white piece behind it and have part of the stamp touch also the pink, sort of to put them together. So I'm just trying to fit it here. And I'm going to adhere that down. Mostly straight. And there we go. Yeah, that fits much better. And that's the sentiment, I would be lost without you, and that's from the Loads of Fun stamp set. And now I'm going to put stamp Open on there, and that one is from the Push Here stamp set. And there we go. And we're just going to stick that down now. There we go. I'm liking it. So far, so good. And I'm just checking to see where I'm going to put everything. And I'm going to pop most of it using the foam dots. And I decided after I colored that I'm going to cut it in half and pull out the center. I'm going to have that little pirate girl sit on top of the treasure chest. And so I'm going to just put down a little base to ground the die cuts so that it looks more finished in there. So I just put a little bit of blue on the top and a little bit of a sand color on the bottom. And I'm going to pop those up, both the top and the bottom of the treasure chest. And then I'm going to bend the little pirate girl so that it looks like she's sitting on it and her little legs are dangling over it. It turned out way cuter than I was expecting it to. You know, sometimes you get the idea in your head and it doesn't really work out, but this card actually worked out pretty well for me today. Which is nice, because it's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning and I must do my best work when I'm half asleep. Or maybe I just think it's good because it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? You guys can be the judge of that. There we go. I'm just putting a little treasure map up there, popping that up. And I was going to use a stamp for this, but I chickened out, so I used a pen. And just to put little dash lines so that it looks like I'm following the trail to the treasure. And I figured there was less chance of me doing bad things to this card if I used a pen rather than the stamp. And I'm just going to put the foam strips on the back of the X, and I'm going to place that right on the door, or the flap there. My little square foams were just too big, so the strips work really well for this. There we go. And that's the front of the card all finished. So it says, "I would be lost without you. Thanks for showing me the way," is what I'm putting on the inside of the card. I was just going to do it on the inside, but I decided I better just use a white piece of paper, so I've cut that down by 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm just putting the last sentiment on the inside, and I'm cutting out another one of the treasure maps to add on the inside of the card. I thought that finished it off well. So I'm just going to adhere the white piece on the inside. There we go. I decided not to pop it up just so it's easier to mail if that's what happens to this card. I don't know what will happen to this card, but anyway. There we go. So that's my card for today. Here, I'll play with my thing so you can see it better. Thank you guys for joining us for May, and we'll see you in June for a masculine card. Thanks. Bye.